Yeah. All right. There you go. Carl Hayes, he says, Kurt, and this is interesting, 10 stars from today that you would start a company with.
Man, that's tough. I mean, there's so many damn good wrestlers. I would pick Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, Undertaker, Hulk Hogan. I'm going to add AJ Styles in there. I got to do that. Brock Lesnar. I'm also going to add
Kurt Angle.
Okay, Kurt Angle. I'll take that. Yep. I better include myself. Ricochet, because I love the kid. And last but not least, Bruno Sammartino, the Pittsburgh legend.
So you gave me all time, but he wants to know 10 wrestlers from today's wrestling that you would say.
Oh, today.
Yeah, so we can do that too. Here we go.
Today's wrestling. Geez, Pete.
I can help you with it if you want.
Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman. I actually love Corbin. Happy Corbin. I think he's a great wrestler. I'm going to go with Dean Ambrose. You got to have Chris Jericho, the veteran. I love Darby Allin. I think he's a great talent. MJF. And I'm going to say.
You mentioned Cody earlier. What about him?
Codes would be a great one. Yeah.
Okay.
And last but not least, myself.
Kurt Angle. He's coming back. He's wrestling. I love it. Oh, man.
Make me come back.
George Jones. How did Impact Wrestling differ from WWE?
It was laid back. It was more laid back. You came up with your own stuff. I mean, they gave you an idea of what to say and what to do, and you made it your own. And WWE was all scripted. You know, they gave you it and said, read this. This is what you're going to say. For the most part in WWE, a lot of the top guys could add their own flavor to it. But for the most part, the undercard guys and the mid-card guys had to say that what was written out on their script. So WWE was a little more strict with that stuff. TNA was more like the Wild Wild West, more like AEW is right now.
All right, Kurt, we're getting to the last few questions here as we start to put a bow on this as we head into the new year. Tony Flowers, if you could give 28, 29-year-old Kurt Angle one piece of advice heading into his professional wrestling career, what would it be? Also, do you think he would listen to that advice?
Okay. Last question first, because would I listen? Hell no. I wouldn't listen. But I will say this. I would have gone back and I would have taken it easy on the house shows and even the TV matches. Every match I did, I acted like it was a pay-per-view match, whether it was a house show, a TV, or a pay-per-view. I wrestled like I wasn't going to wrestle the next day. It was like it was my last match. And every single match I did, I got a lot of abuse on my body. I put my body through a lot of abuse. And I think if I would have let up on the house shows and a little bit on the TVs, you know, done great performances, but not put everything on the line every single night, I think my body would have held up a lot better. That was the problem. You know, I got injured quite a bit. I had to work around the injuries. And even when I was injured, I was still going 130%. So I just didn't know how to back off. And I wish I would have backed off. But would I have taken that advice? Probably not.
And think about it too. You had so much of the E in the entertainment side of it going for you with the early Kurt Angle days. You could have been so much more of the entertaining stuff on the house shows.
I could have, and I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's good advice, man. I mean, it's good to hear you say that now. A wrestling historian is up next. He said, I really enjoyed the Kurt Goes to Hollywood episode. Can you tell us about your time working on Chasing Molly? Thanks in advance.
Chasing Molly, Shelley Pack. She's the one that invited me to be in the movie. She was the director and the creator of the movie. Incredible talent. She wrote a funny script. I ended up being a drug dealer, which was crazy. But it was a funny movie. I absolutely loved doing it. I only had to do it. I only had to film for 2 days. It was an easy movie for me. I played a pretty consistent part in the movie. I was surprised we actually got it done in 2 days, but I had a lot of fun doing it. I went out to LA and did the Chasing Molly movie. It's been on Paramount. I believe it's going on Netflix eventually. It's a great movie. It's a really funny movie. And I think Shelley Pack did an amazing job. There are a lot of good actors in that movie too.
There you go. Thank you, a wrestling historian, for that question. Matt Godfrey says, Kurt, if you could make a new team Angle, who would be in it? And then he's got a Steelers question I'm going to save. So if you're making a new team angle, who's your team angle?
Well, I'd obviously pick Chad Gable and Otis, my two enemies. They're great. You know what I love about them? They're funny as hell. Chad reminds me a lot of me. I think we'd have great chemistry as being team angle. It'd be a lot funnier than the old team angle, definitely. A lot more entertaining. But I think those two would be great, a new team angle. I would have loved doing that. And obviously inviting Gable Stevenson to be in on it. I don't know how funny he is, but he better be damn funny or we're going to drop him like a bad habit.
There you go. How do you think Kenny Pickett is doing? Go Steelers.
Kenny Pickett is our future. I knew he wasn't going to perform as well as people expected him to. He was a rookie this year, young guy. He has a lot of promise. I really believe he's our future. We're going to get a few Super Bowl rings because of him.
Oh, I love you for saying that. By the way, this is a great time to say, head on over to boxofgimmicks.com and check out Kurt Angle. You can find it in Collections, Kurt Angle store. There is some Steel City Angle fresh merch that's been designed by our guy, Dominic D'Angelo. Some fresh designs, Kurt, some sweatshirts. Even the one that I'm wearing, you can now buy in gray and navy blue. And yeah, man, it's keeping nice and warm. You got some new designs over there. So check it out and pick up your swag over there. But some really cool black and white and kind of Steelers colors themed Kurt Angle merch over there. So there you go. Brian Haremza, during Kurt's amateur wrestling days, who are some people that Kurt wishes he could have had some matches with? There was a guy you mentioned last week that you wish you could have wrestled.
Oh, Alexander Karelin.
Yeah.
Like I said before, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, most dominating wrestler. He was a heavyweight wrestler from Russia. He was incredible. But there were other wrestlers. I would have loved to wrestle like Mark Schultz, Dave Schultz's brother. He was the best overall athlete I've ever seen in wrestling, in amateur wrestling. I would have loved to test myself against him because he was one of the greatest American wrestlers of all time. And him and his brother Dave, two of the best ever. And I would have loved to mix it up with Mark Schultz. He was a badass.
Next up, we have Pastor Tim, and he says, if you could get in Doc Brown's DeLorean, which we learned last week, that would be your dream car, and go back in time to relive or change one moment of your career or life, what would you choose and why? Happy holidays. God bless you, your family, and your broken freaking neck. So, Kurt, if you could jump in that DeLorean and go back and relive or change one moment, what would it be?
I would unbreak my neck before wrestling. Listen, at WrestleMania 19, that's when I dropped the title to Brock Lesnar. I was supposed to keep the title. I was supposed to beat Brock and have a nice long title reign. But unfortunately, I broke my neck the month before. Brock broke my neck. And unfortunately, I had to drop it to him at WrestleMania. But I just wish that my neck would have held together a little bit more because that injury right there was a long line of broken necks that were ahead of me after that. I never let my neck completely heal, and that's the reason why I kept re-breaking it. And I wish I would have taken a year off and done it right, let it heal, and then got 100% healthy, and then continued on. But that's the one thing I regret is rushing myself through my broken neck.